Hi, it's Ken here from shop3d.ca. Thanks for joining us for another webinar. Today we have the little brother to the Einstar Libra, and that is the Einstar Vega. This is a nice, light, small, wireless compact unit. So my team is going to take you through how it works, what are the features, and what is the best part about the Einstar Vega. So let's get to it.
Hey, I'm Michael, and I'm here to give you an overview of the Einstar Vega. The Einstar Vega is an affordable, all-in-one wireless 3D scanner. Like the Einstar Libre from our previous webinar, this means that you won't need to connect the Vega to a computer in order to scan objects, though the Libre is a much more powerful and accurate scanner. The Vega is very compact, essentially consisting of a 6.4-inch touchscreen on the back and a number of sensors and lights on the front. On the side here, you have power and sleep buttons, and on the other side, a USB Type-C port that can be used for charging as well as data transfer. Lastly, there's a threaded hole at the bottom here so that the scanner can be mounted to a standard camera tripod. Returning to the front, the sensors and projectors here are for the Vega's two scanning mode, MEMS for close-up detailed scans in HD mode, and VC cell for longer range and outdoor scanning in fast mode. Both use infrared light for scanning, meaning that it's also eye-safe and great for scanning outdoors. Aside from those two, there's also a 48 megapixel color camera so you can capture the color and texture data of the part you're scanning. The Vega is super portable, coming in at under 650 grams. It has a 5,000 mAh battery, which should let you scan for 1.5 to 2 hours. It also comes with a protective silicone case, which should provide some protection from drops, not that we would recommend testing it. The scanner comes in a handy carrying case, which also includes the calibration plate and stand, USB charger, USB cable, tracking markers, and the protective silicone case I mentioned earlier. That's been the overview of the Einstar Vega. Next up is Pooja with a demonstration.
Hi everyone, this is Pooja from Shop3D. So we have been getting a lot of requests from you guys, like you want to see the demo on the Vega. So I'm here to perform a live demonstration on it. So the first step is the setup and the calibration. So usually the calibration is recommended when you change the location, and also if you want to ensure and capture the accurate data and also precise details, then it is required you to do the calibration. So it usually has the initial calibration, which takes around 10 minutes when you have the scanner opened for the first time. So usually it comes with this calibration board and the holder. So you need to move around the calibration board, and it takes around like 10 minutes, and later for like going forward you can do the standard calibration, which is around like 5 minutes. So once the calibration is done is the object orientation. So today here I'm scanning the shoe. So I want to see how the Vega works on any of the organic shapes like this, and I also want to show you how the both HD mode and as well as the fast mode works. So first here I have already scanned some of the couple of the fast mode examples for you. I have scanned some tables, and you can see how the bigger objects can be scanned with the fast mode. I have captured a table of 1 meter. So here I'm showing you the scanned models. So I have scanned these tables, the shelf around the Shop3D showroom. So here you can see I was able to capture this shelf. So if you are into something like architectural designing and want to do some spacing and then you want to see the object orientation, then this is a great option for you, and it is also a budget friendly. And another example I can show you here, the table. So you can see I have captured the table over here, and also there are seats. You can see the seats are like hanging because the supports were of the stainless steel and it was shiny. So yes, the when you're capturing in the fast mode, the Vega needs to be sublimated, like the object need to be sublimated with the ASIP sprays. So if I had been sublimated, then I would be able to capture it. So that's my colleague on the table, so I was able to capture this as well. And lastly, I want to show you another demo is the car. So most of them are asking how it performs outdoor as well. So this was, I scanned it when we got it initially. There were no updates on this one, and I was able to capture the side of the car, and you can see I was able to capture these models. And there's one more. Okay, so this was the fast mode, and now I'll be showing you how it works on the HD mode. So HD mode, I'm performing the demo on this shoe. So I have the turntable. So usually when you are scanning the small object, I usually use the turntable. It's best recommended so that it will be like precise and there is no much of the shaking involved. So it will be more stable. And another thing is that the Vega, some of our stock has the Vega with the tripod. So I would use this tripod for the small objects because it's very convenient. You can just place the Vega over here with the tripod and you can just start the scanning. Just place your scanner properly and make sure your scanner is visible of what you are scanning. So make sure you have put it in the correct orientation. I'm just moving around so that I can capture the bigger view. And you can see my scanner is on like 59%, so I have connected to the Anker. So if it is like, if battery low and if you're doing something, you can always connect it to something like an a power bank. You can use up to like 65 watt of the power bank to connect it. So here on the HD mode, you can select the resolution. So the resolution can go up till like 0.25. So the resolution here in the Shining 3D, they say it is the point cloud distance. So based upon your details and the high accuracy that you are looking for your specific application, you can select that. So I have selected the resolution of medium. And if you want to capture the texture, you can select the acquired texture as well, based upon your, again, requirement. And the alignment mode. So these alignment modes help you to scan, align as well. So when you're scanning the object here, and then I would turn this around other side to capture the bottom part as well, and then I'll go to the software and stitch it together. So these alignments will really help you when doing the alignment mode. So once you know what you want to select, so I'll select the medium resolution. I can also select the texture to show how it works, and also I'll just select the feature because I'm not using any markers on the object. I'm just using the markers on the turntable. So it's set. Resolution, HD mode, and see that you can see the view. So in the HD mode, it's very, the field of view for the HD mode is very small. So make sure you see the object properly, and I would just hit play button over here and it says hold steady. So here it is capturing the surface. So I would just quickly like slowly move around this object, and also move a little bit of scanner based upon your data acquiring. And then, yeah, just turn it. Make sure the details you're looking for. So for here, I'm looking for the details like something, the fabric on the shoe, the logos, the stitching and everything. So you can see the details that I am looking for is being captured efficiently. So one turn is good enough for capturing the top surface. I'm just gonna take the scanner and move a little bit on the top because I want to capture the inside part of the shoe hole. Don't be in rush, like try to do it very slowly. You should be able to capture the most of the parts. So if you want to see the data, then you can also turn off the here the texture, and you will see how your scanner has been captured the data. Okay. So you can see it has a really good tracking. I have not used any of the trackers, but because of its high details and the features on the shoe, it is able to scan conveniently. Okay, so I have scanned the top part. This data is enough for me, and I'm going to quickly save this object. So you can see this is how I captured. Usually before creating a mesh, I go into the editing tools and quickly select the part that I don't want any of the noise here in the scanned object. You want to delete, you can just quickly go or select this tool. Okay, so this looks good to me. Oh, uncheck. Okay, complete. So it's asking rewind data to confirm, so I'm just going to confirm the data that I required. So this is the texture data, and you can also uncheck here, you can see the data. So now I'm going to generate the mesh. So here if you're doing something like 3D printing, you can make it like watertight, but if you want to do some reverse engineering and want to see how this model came out, you can just keep it like unwatertight, and you can select the mesh smoothness based upon your requirement. If you smoothen more, the most of the data on the STL file that will be exported will be tessellated. Make sure you have the like in the none or the medium based upon your requirement again. So I'm just creating. So here you can see it gives up the messages like pops up with the messages of like how you can scan for the black and dark objects as well, and also it will be generating. So usually I would recommend to generate the mesh in the scanner itself because it has the graphic card, so it will be great for you when you're scanning the data as well as the color. So it will take like around like 5 to 10 minutes. So I have scanned the bottom part. So I have got the enough data that I need from the bottom side of the shoe. So now I'll just process it and I'll show you how I do the post processing on the Star Vision, which is the Vega's PC configured software. So here I have the software with me. So it does come within charging cable. So this is supports both charging as well as the file data transfer. So as soon as you put it to your laptop, here you can see the option for charge only or file transfer. I'm going to select file transfer. So you don't need to connect it to the Wi-Fi for file transfer. The better option is the cable, and you can transfer the file if it is like 5 GB around. If you're like different location, you can transfer it to the Shining 3D account, which provides only 5 GB of data. So now you can see the scanner has been connected. So I'll select both the files that I need to import it to my local workspace. So just hit the import local workspace, and then you can just create a new workspace. So it will take like a couple of minutes again. So once it is imported, I'll show you how we can do the quick cleaning and then the post processing. Okay, so the files have been imported here. So this one is the data, the point cloud data, and the second one is the mesh data. So once you click on the data over here, so you can see this is the top part and this is the bottom part. So you want to select both of the point clouds. So I'll just select the first one and control second one as well, and then select the alignment button here. On the alignment, you can see you can select the first one and the second model. So based on the features, and it has enough data, I can just select the features, and then there are no markers, and I have selected the auto alignment. So just press auto alignment. So here you can see it has been aligned together properly, and I'm happy with the result. So I can just say add to the list. So once it has been created, you can see it here in the alignment result. So once this is done, you can just come back, close this alignment mode, and you can see the alignment result over here. And again, now you can just generate a mesh. Here you can select based upon your again requirement application. You can select watertight, unwatertight. So I'm going to select here watertight, and then select preview. Just wanted to see how it looks before I actually go into the final exportation. So here you can see this is the result that I have captured, and I'm like pretty happy. You can see a little bit of overhangs over here. You can clean it up with the post-processing softwares. I can talk to you more about that when I'm doing the application. So here you can also do the rough measurements of the model, and this you can see how the in XYZ the model is and the volume data. And final step is like exporting. It supports both the .obj, STL, and then a PLY, and I'll just usually select the STL file if you want to do it like reverse engineering or rendering, but OBJ when you're doing the color as well as the rendering. So I'm just gonna save it. So now you can see these are the exporting. So I have used the watertight, and I'm pretty happy with the results, and I'll show you now how I'll actually use this for 3D printing and my specific application. Okay guys, now you have seen what I have scanned, the shoe, and now I have the file. So usually I get a lot of requests to scan the Vega, scan and then directly 3D print it. So this is my main focus, to show you guys how I usually do it. And yes, it is capable of doing like scanning, and directly we can 3D print it. So I have done it, and I want to show you what's the process involved and how you guys can do it. Now I had the scanned file from the scanned data. Here I have imported it to the Bamboo Studio. Usually I do not directly import it to the Bamboo Studio because there is like some of the complication that you might see, because when you scan the data, because the scan data is very high detailed, so if you're doing something like reverse engineering, then you would need for sure high detailed data. But if you're not looking for high detail or anything, so based upon your resolution that you have selected, based upon that, you can select the resolution and the precise detail, and then you can directly import it to the 3D printing software. So usually I simplify when I am remeshing it in the software itself, where in the Star Vision I simplify the data using the decimation process, where it actually reduces the number of polygon points, but still preserving the data of shape and details as well. It's just a process of reducing the polygon point, but it preserves the data, and you can use that when your file is very big. But when I scan the shoe, it's very convenient for me to import it to the Bamboo Studio, and I did not face any of the crashing of the software or anything like that. So here you can see I have imported into the Bamboo Studio, and here you can see the alignment. So I can just quickly go into the alignment and place it properly. I have 3D printed this one, and I have reduced the scale. So if you want like whole scale based upon your build volume, you can choose that as well if you have bigger build volume printer. But I have a Bamboo X1C with me here, so I just reduced the scale, and I just 3D printed it just to show you guys if it is capable of 3D printing directly or not. Because I was selected watertight, it doesn't has any much of the floating points or any of the artifacts over here. I just reduced the scale. So you can reduce as much as you want if you're looking for like prototyping and just for the aesthetic purposes, how your design has been come and you want to see what are the details, then you can just shrink it down. So I shrink it down like around 20%, 30%. And here you can see a little bit of the overhangs that I had captured for the shoe holder over here. So I'm gonna go and like just crop it. I don't need that data much. So you can use this cut planar tool here, and then you can go. So I did the same when I was 3D printing, and I'm showing the same process for you guys as well. So this plane helps you to separate the holder over here on the shoe, and you can see I have already cut it. That's why you cannot see it here. So perform cut. So once it has been cut, you can just delete the data that you don't want. And if there is still, you can just still select the shoe and then do another slicing. Yeah, you can just delete all the part that you don't need. Because this was like not much important part for me, so I deleted it, and my main focus was like how the shoe came out, what's the orientation and the logo, the fabric and everything. So once this is done, I added some of these supports on the here. So you can see I enabled supports, and I used tree support. Usually I use the tree supports if there are a little bit of overhangs. I can see there are like the shoelace is a little bit of overhang, so I just slice it. So you can see I have sliced this one, and you can see there are like tree supports, and I see most of the part that I need has been captured properly, and the data is convenient enough, and it says on the bamboo printer over here for the X1C it takes like 4 hours and 40 minutes. This is good enough. And then when I slice it, and then you can see the amount of the material it's taking and the time, and just send it to the printer. So here, this is the end product. I have still kept the supports on just to show you based upon your orientation, based upon your requirement, you can place whatever you want. I printed it flat on the ground like this, and if you are looking for something high details on the bottom part, then you can also orient it like vertically, and you can also print it, but make sure that you put some supports because there will be again overhangs. And yes, so just wanted to make sure that you are aware. Yes, the Vega can scan the objects, where it can do the small objects as well as large objects. If you want to do small object scanning and reverse engineer them and 3D print it directly for any of the organic shapes like shoes or the something like flask or vase, you can for sure scan it and directly print it. So I'm very happy with the results. So Vega has been proven that we can like scan it and 3D print it. I hope this helps you decide purchasing the Vega scanner for your specific application and 3D printing. Now over to Cha, who will be coming up with the best practices on Vega.
Hey guys, my name is Cha. I work in the Shop 3D Technical Service Department, and I'm here to talk about the best practices. So the first thing is, because it's such a mobile unit, for scanners there are two sort of major contributing factors on how well you can scan, and that is the lighting condition of the environment, and the other one is extreme changes in the temperature can also throw off the scanner. So what we recommend is when these environmental conditions change, perform a calibration. And that's going to help with the scanner adapt to the new environment that you have placed it in for scanning. The next thing we'll talk about is sort of the subject that you're scanning. So one of the things that stands out to me about this device is it's really great at scanning organic objects. And because organic subjects are asymmetrical, it's very easy for this scanner to sort of detect the features and automatically align the scan with the features with the information that it's collected through scanning. So for surfaces that are very dark, black, or very shiny and glossy, what I recommend is using the A-Sub spray. My sort of personal recommendation, if you've never used spray before, is to use the orange can. There are two reasons to why I recommend the orange can. One is this will have the middle of the road sort of vanishing effect. So these sprays will basically dry up and flake off the surface of the subject that you're spraying. And the orange one will last somewhere between anywhere between 4 to 6 hours, which will give you plenty of time to try out your scanner and try to get the best sort of data collection you can with your scan. The second reason why I recommend the orange can is because it has the smallest powder size. And this is important when you're doing something like you're trying to measure an accurate surface or get proper measurements. This is going to give you the least amount of offset due to the layer thickness. One thing I do recommend is that try not to overspray. Sprays like this, the idea is to matte the surface and not to completely cover it like spray paint. So as an example, this is actually a very light black. It's not like a matted, I want you to imagine like a velvet dark black. That's where the scanner is going to have a difficult time trying to pick up the information. This is still okay. There's still enough color information here where the scanner will see the light that's bouncing off the surface of the shoe. But to give you an example, you're going to see this object, and you can see as I'm placing the object on here, right? You can see my finger being picked up, but if I turn this object around, you can see on the side, on the bottom here, in the scanner, it's actually having a very difficult time trying to capture these surfaces. You guys can sort of see that, right? And the reason why is because this surface is very shiny. That's the first part. The second part is parts like this, where they have this hard edge and then a transitional surface. It's very difficult for the scanner to understand where the data points that it's collecting, okay? And what happens is, instead of trying to figure it out, it just eliminates it. Now, one of the things about scanning is you don't want to overscan. So what I recommend is going over the scan in the area where you want to scan, very simply, just like that. And you wait for it to sublimate. And you can tell in even just that slight spray, you can see the area that I sprayed instantly comes up on the scanner. You don't want to hold on like a spray paint can. You just want to sort of quickly spray over it, and that should have enough of an effect to help with the scanning process. The other sort of addition that's going to help you in scanning is going to be these IR tracking markers. The way that the tracking markers work is on the scanner itself, and you can set up marker alignment, okay? And when you have marker alignment selected down here, the scanner is now able to pick up the markers, and you can sort of see through the scanner that it has highlighted the markers that it's using for alignment in red. As you sort of move around, you're going to see some of the markers blink off of the red color and other markers blink on the red color. And what that states is whatever is highlighted in red is active. The scanner is using it for alignment. Whatever is not highlighted is not being used, okay? So as you sort of transition through the object, you're going to see what IR targets are being used for alignment and which ones are being deactivated and not used during the alignment. And one of the reasons why we want to use IR targets is that really symmetrical objects are very difficult for the scanner to detect the alignment. And so that's what the IR targets are for. Okay. To sort of elaborate on that, what we do here is we actually make some stands and add-ons that we can put onto our scanning platform to sort of make things easier and to also add IR targets for items that we take on as scanning projects. So we have these sort of scanning platforms, and you can see we place the targets on there. And the reason why we do this is so these sort of contraptions are reusable, and we don't have to expand so many IR targets every time we try to scan something by placing it onto the surface. Although I would say when you're doing sort of a alignment of the object, like I'm trying to scan the entire object as a whole 3D model, you will need a minimum of 4 IR targets on the actual object in order to align it with the most accurate measurements and the most easiest sort of alignment method, which is by selecting the IR targets and doing the alignment. The next thing I'll sort of talk about, and I'm going to just bring the shoe back up here, is sort of a talk on how to sort of scan an object without using markers. So let's take the shoe, for example. The shoe is asymmetrical, and so I should be able to scan this shoe relatively easily without markers. And so you can see I've turned the markers off. So one of the recommendations I have, and I practice, is looking for the best angle to capture the most amount of data, so that when I start to scan and I start moving the scanner around, it has the most amount of data to sort of align itself. So it's going to have the most amount of features. In this way, when I start to scan and start moving this scanner around, it's not going to lose tracking, which can happen if, say, you pick a different sort of orientation, right, where there's not too much information, right? So let's say I put the scanner on the tip of the shoe and I try to move this around. And as I'm moving around, it only has this as a frame of reference. And so therefore, if I move to the side and it loses that toe, it's going to lose tracking. It doesn't know where the information that it needs to perform the alignment. Whereas, if I choose sort of an angle where it's going to capture the most amount of features, as I'm transitioning the scanner around to perform the scanning, this is going to give me a much higher probability rate of not losing traction while I'm moving the scanner around. Part of the Einstar Vega's mobility is that it is battery powered. And so we want to sort of conserve that battery power as much as we can to get the most amount of use out of this unit as we can. And so one of the things after, me and my colleagues have had a chance to sort of use this unit, what we noticed is when people go and package it away, they'll just press the power button, the screen's going to turn off, and they go and place it into the case. And so the next person that needs to use the unit, they're going to take it, press the power button, and actually the screen doesn't turn on. And the reason is because the scanner was put to sleep but not off, and so subtly it's consuming battery power. So one of the things I tell people is hold the power bar, it's going to trigger the shut off sign, and you just basically hit the slide, follow the instructions to make sure that the unit is actually powered off and thereby not consuming any more battery power. One of the other things I like having around the office is also having a extra battery pack where if I am in a pinch, there's not enough battery in here, I can quickly hook it up to a secondary battery and get a quick charge out of the USB-C cable. The charge is relatively quick, and I can go about whatever I was working on. Okay, so thank you for joining me for my talk on best practices. I really hope that you guys have taken some pointers from my talk to improve the efficiency and success rate while you're performing your scans. That's it for me. Now off to Michael and Pooja. Happy scanning.
Hi guys, welcome back. So we have frequently asked questions on the Shining 3D Vega. So let's get into it. So first question, Michael, does this scanner comes with the tripod?
So we do have a limited number of units still with the tripod left, but once they sell out, you'll need to buy the tripod separately. Pooja, is there PC software available for the Einstar Vega, and how much does it cost?
Yeah, so the PC software is free to download from the Shining 3D Vega download center. Most of the processing happens on the scanner itself, but it is compatible with the PC software that is called Star Vision. You can download it from the download center again, and it's compatible with both operating system Windows as well as Mac. Okay, following up with that question, do the software, PC software, does need any high configured recommended laptop configuration?
Yeah, so the computer that you'll need for Star Vision does have to be relatively powerful. They recommend at least an 11th gen Intel Core i7 processor, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and an NVIDIA GTX 1060 graphics card. And of course, a USB Type-C port so you can transfer the data from the Vega onto your computer.
Okay.
Yeah. Pooja, we've talked today about tracking markers for the Vega. What size tracking markers is it compatible with?
So initially when it was released, it was only compatible with the 6 millis of the targets. But now with the software upgrade, it is compatible with the 12 mm markers, because if you're scanning like bigger objects and the shelves and everything, then it is great for having convenience of tracking efficiently with the 12 mm. So we know that it's compatible with the 6 millis as well as the 12 millis, Michael. And how much markers are required when it is transiting from one area to other area, and also how it helps tracking the scanning?
Yep, so the tracking markers will improve tracking, as the name implies, for the Vega. When you're scanning, you want at least 4 markers in the frame at a time, and you also want to place them randomly so that it can get that enhanced tracking. Pooja, can we replace the battery on the Vega, and how long does a charge last?
Yeah, so unfortunately, the batteries on the Vega are not replaceable, but you can charge the batteries. It lasts around like 1 to 1.5 hours based upon your scanning and the amount of the data you have been capturing. If it is high detail, it will need more battery, but it is compatible with the 45 watt or 65 watt power bank, so you can use that as an handy when you're scanning larger objects. Yeah. So Michael, the next question is, what are the file formats that can be exported with the Vega scan?
Yep, so with the Einstar Vega, you can export your scanned objects as an STL, OBJ, 3MF, P3, ASC, and PLY file formats. Once it's completed, you can import those into reverse engineering software, such as Shining 3D's own X model, in order to do additional processing, such as taking dimensions and measurements, and the whole reverse engineering process. All right. Pooja, here at Shop 3D, do we provide training for the Einstar Vega?
So Vega is straightforward. It's really good for the educational purposes as well as for the hobbyist level, and also if you're doing specific application in the industry as well. It is very straightforward, but if you are looking for an additional in-depth scanning process, how you have to do for your specific application, then yes, we do provide training, but the fee is applicable for it. And the last question, Michael, usually we get it, is like, what's the warranty on the Vega scanner?
Yep, so the Einstar Vega comes with a 1-year manufacturer warranty. Like always, if anything goes wrong during the warranty period, you can bring it to us or reach out and contact us. We'll be able to help provide and try to fix the issue, and we communicate directly with Shining 3D should we need to. That's all the FAQs we have, Pooja.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Ken to wrap things up.
I love how portable the Einstar Vega is, but there is something that kind of bugs me, and that's the battery life. While it's not bad, it actually uses a ton of batteries when you're processing your files or doing a lot of scanning. And that could really dampen your spirits if you have to stop and charge this. And that's why we actually recommend you pair it up with an Anker Solix C300 DC. This is a DC external battery that is kind of like a power bank, but with super huge capacity and a really high output, that when you plug into the Einstar Vega will extend your scanning for many hours to go, and it'll charge it up extremely quickly. And this will also be a camp light for you, and you can actually use it for other devices as well. So I think this is a fantastic upgrade to the Vega, and kind of a essential one since the Vega, unlike the Libra, does not have external batteries. So by now I think my team's told you a ton about the Vega and you probably want this right now. But there's something special about this unit. See this custom color? We have a limited supply of this very custom blue, as well as if you get it right now, you can actually get a free tripod kit upgrade. And this will come free with the unit. It's limited time only. Once we run out, we won't have this color or the free tripod with it. If you'd like to learn more about this product or contact us for a quote, reach out to our sales team directly. We'd be more than happy to help you. Until next time, I'm Ken from Shop 3D.